Hello, Dr. White back again, this time with a quick screencast on some more of the Git Part 2 slides. We're now going to deal with some conflicts that are more extensive than just unexpected changes in a file. What if like an entire file happened to get deleted by someone else? So we want you to imagine that you are still person B working in the gitprac project in the git B directory. And you decide that your next move is going to be to remove Readme Md. So, of course, you can do that in RStudio just by checking and, then saying you want to delete. Just show you that you could do it at console with the command rm in the terminal. Rm readme.md. There it goes. Let's say you're happy with those changes and you decide to git add, git commit to the message that describes the changes. And you push those changes. All right, and now let's switch back to pretending to be person A working on gitprac in the git A directory. So we'll open up that project. And let's say you forget to pull any possible changes from the GitHub repository. You just start kind of thinking about what you would like to do. And independently of your partner, you decide it's a small, wonderful world, but you also decide maybe to put an exclamation point there, which is not a change that your partner had made. You don't know how similar your work is to the partner's yet, but you make those changes. And you save them, and stage them and commit them. So in the terminal, git add all, git commit, polish test.txt. All right, so you've made another commit. And then you realize, oops, I forgot to pull down any changes from GitHub that might have been made. Okay? So you go ahead and do a git pull. And sure enough, there's some conflicts. There's a merge conflict in test.txt. And they also apparently removed readme.rmd. In fact, if you look in your gitprac, you no longer see a readme.md. Your test.txt shows some of the changes associated with conflict. So what do? Well, you're going to need to resolve those conflicts. That's not too hard to do in test.txt. So we decide that we're just going to make it, we're going to go ahead and stick with what we wanted, which was the exclamation point after world. There we go. Save them. And let's go ahead and make a commit out of that. Git add all, git commit to the message. Oh, and what message do I want to make? Resolve merge from GitHub repo. Very well. But then, as you think about it a little bit more, you think, I disagree with that decision by my partner to delete readme.md. What are you going to do? Do you have to make the file over again and then add it and commit it or anything like that? Well, not actually. What you can do is check it out from a previous version of your project. So think about git log, which shows you some of the more recent commits. The resolve merge was the last commit you made. The polish test.txt was the commit before that. And you'll remember that at that commit, you still had a readme.md. So we could actually use this commit here, this snapshot of your prior project, to recover that readme. I'm going to just grab the first few characters of this SHA number for the commit, copy them, and I no longer need to see the list. I could continue the list of commits here, but I don't need to see it. I'm just going to say Q, and I get out of it. And what I'm going to do is git checkout, and then I'm going to paste in those first few characters of the SHA, and then I'm going to say that the particular file I want to check out is readme.md. And as soon as I enter that command, you'll see that readme.md comes back. There it is. That's the way I set it up. It's back into my repository. Okay, running a status. We see that we do indeed have this new file, readme.md. So what are we going to do next? We'll go ahead and make a commit around that recovery and push it. There's the commit. And let's go ahead and push that up to GitHub. Oops, looks like I entered an incorrect password. There we go. So git checkout is pretty useful. Here's one thing that you could do with it. It's not fixing up something that comes from a merge conflict. Say that you just decided that you wanted to make some changes to test.txt, some complicated bunch of changes, and you were working on them for a long while, and maybe something was wrong about those changes, and you couldn't fix it, and you just decided, oh, I just wish I could just go back to where I was at the beginning of this commit. I want my old test.txt back. Maybe you've even saved your changes, and have all kinds of complicated stuff all saved. What do you do? How do you undo all that work? All you have to do is go down to the command line at the terminal and say git checkout test.txt, and kaboom, it comes back to its original version. You don't have to confirm that with a commit or anything else. You've just reverted back to the beginning of the most recent committed version of that file. Yet another use of checkout is if you happen to change several files and you wanted to restore everything on all of them, you could just say git checkout dot, and that will go back to the version of the file, to the version of all the files that you have in your repository at the last commit. You can also revert to a previous commit. So this can be done, and we won't illustrate it here in the console, but you could revert with no commit at the moment to a particular previous commit at its head, and then you can commit that. A couple of other things that we won't immediately illustrate. Branching. Well, okay, let's go ahead and illustrate it. Suppose sometimes you want to work on an idea that you have while keeping your current version intact. And you can do this by creating a new branch in your repository. So what I'm going to do here is create a new branch that I'm going to call dev. The way you create it is with git checkout with the -b option. And then the thing after that becomes the branch that you will then check out. So let's give it a try. Copy this. And in the console, we see that we have switched to a new branch, dev. Up in the window here, it says master. It doesn't mention a dev yet, but eventually RStudio will catch up with you there. But we're actually on the dev branch now, and we can start making some changes. Let's see if I had any in mind. No, I didn't particularly have any in mind. But let's go ahead and make some changes here. Apparently, I'd like to add the word and. Let's give that a try. There we go, change them. And this is a branch. You can make any changes you like on this branch. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's git add all, git commit, message, I don't know, insert and. And let's go ahead and leave this branch. Git checkout master. And notice as soon as you do that, test.txt reverts to, in the buffer here, reverts to the version that you have on the master branch. You can go ahead and check out dev branch again. And all of a sudden you get the and back. You can check out the master. And it goes away. Let's say that you're happy with the change to and you would like to incorporate that into the master branch. How do you do so? Well, all you got to do is get onto the master branch with git checkout master. We're already there. And then we say git merge dev master, the place we're merging from, then the place we're merging to. Git merge dev master. Here we go. Git merge dev master. And in the console, we see things about a fast forward and that a file has been changed. And sure enough, now the master branch has the version that the dev branch had. The two branches have become one. You can also just sort of go around in the past history of your repository and look around at how things were at that time. One way to begin doing this is by running git reflog. And the reflog shows you a history of your commits, similar to git log, but also indicating sort of where their heads are relative to where you are at the moment. And they also give you the first few digits in each of the commits that you can use to identify a particular previous commit that you'd like to look around in. Once you've identified it, you can either use the head notation or those commit numbers to check out those previous states. And at that point, you've detached from the head on the master branch. You're in the so-called detached head state. And you're told in the console that you can look around and make changes. And you can also create new branches from this previous commit if you wish. But once you've done that, you'll want to eventually git checkout master to get back to your master branch. Anyway, you've made a lot of changes now, and you like them, so let's go ahead and make one more push up to GitHub. Git push. Away we go. So resources would include the Pro Git book, and also here's a nice article on merging conflicts. And Googling your problem with Git is something that I've always found very valuable. You'll get usually to some Stack Overflow site that helps you out a lot. Have fun learning more Git, and I'll be back next time. I'll be back again with more topics.